It's really interesting to be in such a career awareness program because of the fact of seeing all the participants here are people who are interested in this big word called career. Fantastic. And that too also on a Sunday. Nothing can be better. I mean, for cliche methodology, it's Sunday is a time for relaxation and settling down. But why settle down when you've got the biggest brand that you're going to go ahead and bring forward? And that's today's program, right? The biggest brand, which is actually you. And that's what we're going to do today. Emerging careers in commerce. Widespread. Okay, let's go through this now to understand this a little bit better. First, let's set a couple of ground rules apart from what Arun has already put forward to you all. I'm actually going to talk to you more as a friend and a guide. I am not going to put forward my viewpoint in the way that this is what you should do. I would rather like you all to take this away in the fact of how can you use this as a good choice methodology? How can you go and look into what benefits you best? I'm going to put forward a lot of things which I would love to debate with you all about, which I'd love you all to ask me questions regarding. But I'm also going to put forward a lot of things in front because I want you to think about two major things as we start off. There's a difference between a job and a career. Today's conversation, today's talk is about careers. You got to choose a career as you go ahead. Number one, which can mushroom and give you loads of opportunities as you progress through in life, because nothing is static. Please remember that. 4-5 months ago, even though we heard something was happening in China and little bit of tidbit news were coming around the place that COVID, could you believe what we've gone through, all of us, in the last 3 months? So this was not planned, right? And look at all the business opportunities coming ahead. Business, commerce. When you go ahead and choose, jobs are going to be aplenty in the future. Your career choices is going to make up into how you go into the market and whether it can mushroom to give you much more different avenues. Once you get avenues, you'll have many places to go ahead and fill the mug. All right. So I'm going to try to give you many different avenues, number one. Number two is, as you progress through, another thing for you to think about is, and I told you I'm going to do 3 things. Second is, the next college or the university or the degree is just a means to the end. You all have to decide what is the end. Once you decide what the end is, you will automatically start choosing how to reach that end. Okay, so remember my second advice to you. Choose the end first. For example, and let's cut it really short, you got to go for a holiday. So let's pack up our bags. But I haven't told you where we're going for a holiday. If you're going to Manali, the clothes are going to be different. If it's going to be Goa, it's going to be different, right? Once you know where you're going, then you know exactly how to dress up and gear up. So know where you've got to go. Number 3, when you're going to choose this along with passion and what excites you more. Trends change, and trends change due to passion. All right. And what remains and what gets built up is passion. So use a lot of passion when you're going to go ahead and choose your career. Now let's understand commerce a little bit more. Now that we've done a macro, let's go a little bit more micro. All right. First, let's understand this. Let's understand this terminology of this world called commerce now that you're thinking about a career to deal with it. Let's see. And guys, many of you all could be fast readers. Go slow with me. Let's see. The noun of the word commerce says an interchange of goods and commodities, especially on a large scale between different countries or between different parts. Key words taken away here is interchange, different countries, parts, large scale. Let's look at another noun of the word commerce. Social relations, especially the exchange of views and attitudes. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a lot of behavioral aspects here. That means commerce has got a lot to do with people skills. It's got to do a lot with negotiation. It's got to do a lot with planning. It's got to do a lot of behavioral attitudes. It's got to learn a lot of different things like manners, or even in terms of geography or countries, manner of dealing. Let's look at another word of commerce, adjective. Prepared, done, or acting with a sole or chief emphasis on sellability, profit, or success. And yes, preparation is big. The word of commerce is commercialize. That means to apply a business methodology towards an activity to generate profit. This is going to be the main agenda which we're going to understand a career on this term called commerce. The noun, the adjective, and the verb. We've typically understood it. It seems very simple, but it offers a plethora of different activities where we can go and jump into. Let's see some of them. A career in commerce opens a gateway to, and you'll know it, CA and CS, Chartered Accountants and Company Secretaries. Banking and insurance, business management, entrepreneurship, and that's a big thing nowadays, and many, many more. To be more specific, commerce leads to management. It could be entrepreneurial management, people management, business management, okay? It could also be management in terms of time-bound management. When do you want to bring a particular cycle into your business atmosphere? You're going to manage three important things: people, product, and processes. So a lot of things on management. Chartered accountancy is big, and I'm sure you would have already been aware of it, that this is a huge mega opportunity to get into. As much big as the CS, being a company secretary. Now, the company secretary, according to the Act, is a must-have in every organization. The word is very cliche of secretary, but this is a gentleman or a lady with immense power, and not just power, immense responsibility. Big avenues coming in here. I understand, coming from a commerce, and for people who are in 9th or 10th going to choose this into the 11th and 12th, the subject matter is, has it got to do with finance? Yes, it does. But coming to think of it, ladies and gentlemen, finance is at every part of our life, isn't it? And at a very young age, we are handling finance. It can happen as simple as a young boy or girl who's got to go ahead and handle his pocket money, to you to start your own business, for you to go ahead and have your travel allowance to travel up and down to college, finance. But what about starting of an organization, mergers and acquisitions of companies, growth, or plans of a company which could be immediate, 6 months or 1 year or 5 years down the line? How is a company going to go ahead and explore or grow? A case in point here. Around a good 10, 12 years ago, eBay had its biggest competitor in terms of Amazon. Typically, what was being sold there? From apparels to toys to shoes, curtains, drapery, household materials. What has currently happened in the market? Flipkart, Mantra. Look at Amazon bringing in groceries right to our doorstep. A business model started to work out. Finance is good. Economics. Trends. Let's think about statistics and a graph in terms of trends and to find out where is a market going to reach out to. I'll just pause here for a second. Is it all number driven? No, it isn't. Numbers are a part of it. But if you can be excited enough to find numbers coming into your storyline to build a business, this is the statistical economics that's going to come in. Statistical economics. designs and trends. Let me give it to you in another nutshell. Suppose you want to get into something called data analyst. You'll want to find out how many employees do I need to run a mall? And you typically say, Andrew, I need 3 different shifts. I need a morning shift, an afternoon shift, and an evening shift. The guards will handle the night because the mall is closed. So the major shift is going to be morning, afternoon, evening. So I think I'll have 4 people in the morning, 4 people in the afternoon, 4 people in the evening. 4, 8, 12, 2 just as a backup because some get 6, a less than a round figure put in 3, and we got 15. Andrew, we need 15 employees. But the data analyst gets in a question as, when does mega people come in? So they do it via polls, something which Arun was doing in the beginning when he was going ahead and doing a poll as to which class were coming to polls, right? Data analysts. How many people come into the mall in the morning or the afternoon? It turns out to be late afternoon, early evening, people come more into the mall. So morning is more cleaning, so more cleaning stuff. Afternoon, more cleaning because there's going to be lunch, but in the evening, it's going to be different. You see, this is data analysts. This is exciting trends in terms of numbers. So you've got to understand maths here. While people can say, I love maths, and maths is a good, important procedure, you might not have things like algebra. You're going to have more statistical research here, which is going to go and help you out. Is this your key? Does this excite you to build a story and plan? This is where we're coming up. Okay, we've got a couple of more. Actuarial science, cost and management accounting, stockbroking, very, very exciting. Another very big part. Statistics, entrepreneurship. In every one of this, when we talk about economy and how is the Indian economy going, what are we talking about this sentence? You hear it a lot in the news, right? The world economy is falling down. What trends are these people saying? Are they using? You see, in this point of view is the manner in which they go and put forward a trend based on research, analysis. They put forward a picture, a graph, a storyline. Are you an influencer? Would you like to influence people with numbers? Can numbers influence? Of course they can. Aren't numbers influencing us today on the news? Think about it, guys. Let's open the news today and what does it talk about? The number of COVID cases, and a graph comes up saying it's rising right from March till what it is right now in July. These are numbers, statistics. This gets forward a trend, and from a trend, we turn around and we influence a consumer or the customer. Now, if you can get trends and if you can understand how to influence them in this manner, you can influence customers. Finally, what do customers get? Customers build up your business. Business is money and profit. And there's that beautiful word towards the end, entrepreneurship. The last around 12 to 15 years has seen a mega growth in entrepreneurship. It's not a job, it's a calling. It's where you can go ahead and bring forward a new business opportunity, probably in a different avatar. You open up the market to a new need and want, and you go ahead and run a new line of business, your own business. Once again, I use the word market. So commerce is a good understanding of the market, is as much as stockbroking or cost and management accounting. All right, let's go a little ahead. Let's understand management a bit more. Okay, management, big stuff. We're finding this to be a very trendy course. It is trendy. Why is it trendy? Because everything in life is about this one word called management. Do you manage your time? Do you manage your study time? Have you managed your different topics before you prepare for your board exams or the other exams that you're doing? Management. Management is big. So in a commerce structure, if you look at management, and I left you my 3 Ps, people, product, and processes, management is pretty versatile. A management course, which you can do after graduation, or a BBA, which you can do even after 12th, is applicable in sectors such as manufacturing, Healthcare, and we've seen how that's been growing in the last couple of months. Financial institutions and wealth management. Gaming and tourism, very, very big. Hotel management comes in here. Utilities, even not-for-profit organizations, and definitely government agencies. A big area to get into. A question which was asked in a previous talk is, does it have a value in the next couple of years? And my answer to this, and you'll hear it from anybody, would be, it has one of the most long-term values you can imagine. And I've given you some of the most cliched examples of where it can come in. Okay. The courses that you go ahead and do can help you now come closer to that big word I told you, your passion. When you've got your excitement in place, that is one thing which can take your career forward. One thing is, young students, numbers are big, right? Of course it is. So you get good marks in your boards, in your exams. It's much needed, right? Of course it is. Is it everything? No, it isn't. Numbers can get you there. What is going to propel or push you forward or become a fantastic lady or gentleman in your niche segment is your passion. So management courses, if you work in with passion, which what excites you better, can go into marketing management, PR, international business management, information technology, big in the current scenario, using tremendous loads of ads coming up. Finance management, extremely big. Have you seen the number of requirements now that we've got a pandemic on top of ourselves, how people are talking to us about going ahead for LICs and medical insurances? Insurance has come out to be a big factor. How do you track your insurances? For example, Ramu, you're 18 years right now. If you invest this right now for the next 10 years, because you're at a very young age, your health risks are much lower. That means after this, the money will come at an increased rate of so and so percent. These are where your aspects can turn out to be. Okay. Hospitality management, extremely important. Extremely important. I see certain people raising hands. Just let's continue with this for a few minutes. I assure you, I'm going to leave you a lot of time for questions. But right now, if I do stop for a minute, it'll break a trend. And I'm sure I am purposely trying to go ahead and put forward certain things to allow you all to go ahead and ask more questions or think differently. Okay. So just hold on and rest assured, I'll give you enough time to go ahead and ask questions. Event management, human resource, HR. Today, the job crunch in the market, finding out who can fit who, whether we can go ahead and get cross skills and cross training is big. Okay. Sports management is another big one which is coming. Let's go into another trend. Chartered accountancy. Extremely well recognized, popular, much needed, part of the system. Now, such a lady or gentleman is a domain expert, much needed by an organization. Okay. Now, if you can get a storyline from maths, a storyline from numbers, and you can go into different aspects of a number game from how it can benefit your organization, this is what suits you. So let's go ahead and think about something here. If you're good in talking, if you're good in reading and research, if you're good in plotting numbers to a story, this can suit you very, very well. Because a chartered accountant works across various different business elements. And he is a right-hand man or typically a top man in an organization and their needs for a future financial settlement. Let's see a couple of stuff. The CA provides a lot of professional advice. His main aspect is how to have finance increase profitability in the company. Why have a written client here? Because some CAs work in as independent consultants to an organization. That means you can work for a company or you can become an independent consultant as an advisory board to advise the company. So see, you can be an independent consultant as well. A CA helps in preparing financial reports. And of course, the ICAI gets forward with its recognition, through its colleges. What can you do from a CA? Audit and taxation, project finance, financial advisory, long-term, short-term, and where to invest, banking and financial services like wealth management, outsourcing, academics, and a wide range in the corporate sector. Let's look into this word which seems very, very simple, but very, very mega strong. Company secretaries. A crucial want, need, and must have in an organization, the company secretary. But this is a gentleman who has also gone through important aspects of commerce along with labor laws. Law is a very, very good one. If you can go ahead and do a law along with this, it makes your bandwidth and your offering and your brand, you as a brand, not your company, you as a brand, strong. And many CAs and CSs arm themselves. It's like a weapon. Karan and his kavach. You need your weapon, your armory. These are very important things. Usually in a very simple way, the job of a CS is to work with the organization and the top heads in terms of business dealings, strategies, preparing financial reports, talking about the health fitment of the company. What is your health record? Not health record of who's got a COVID, excuse me. I'm having a pun here. But the health record of the company. That means how is your finances going? How much investments can you take? How long can the company extend? Is it fitment? Does it have a fitment right now to go into a merger or an acquisition or a buy-in? What all is happening? Okay. Very, very close along with labor laws and a lot of government related issues. Very close along with the ministry. Very strong in terms of numbers, in terms of stock exchange, securities, etc. A strong, strong figure. Once again, do you have numbers which can attach a story and put forward a value of a company in a short and long-term perspective? This can suit up. Okay. Typically, every listed company is required to have on its roll a full-time CS as per the Companies Act. Very strong in corporate law, a very, very added advantage. Now, do you see young students and other people who are attending? The more strong is your armory, the more you can take and the more you can offer. I'm pausing for a minute. I can see all ladies and gentlemen raising your hands. Drop questions. The moderator will collect your questions and we will address it towards the end. Don't worry. Let's try to understand this right now. I'm glad you're participating, but right now I am not stopping this. Let us have a good understanding and see where does your passion fit into this. Because a lot of this can come out straight from the net or from talking to friends or people or a YouTube. The fact of the matter is, does it connect to your passion and does it have an idea where you can branch in to do more in life ahead? Can your career take that swing in life? That's what you got to think about. So I'm continuing right now, and rest assured, we will pause enough time to answer questions.
My apologies, Andrew, if I can just come in for a second. A few
Yes,
people
please.
are complaining about the audio.
Okay.
If you can just do a count 1 to 5 and let's get to understand.
All right.
Before you do that, it is advisable while you're attending these sessions, you have your headphones on, right? And, I understand each one of us are using different bandwidths. So please request everyone at home not to use any other app which is draining, like YouTube or Facebook or anything else where you're trying to stream live videos, right? Yeah, if you can just do a 1 to 5 count.
Sure.
Please type yes if the voice is clear.
My favorite. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done.
I think it's absolutely fine. Ritika, Suraj, please check local level issues. And my apologies, Andrew, all yours.
Perfect. Perfect. That was much needed. I mean, if the voice is not going ahead, then there's no use of doing this. Much appreciated. Thank you so much, Arun. For the rest, any other questions based on what should I do as a CS, we'll answer towards the end. Okay, so let's go ahead. Finance. So typically what happened years ago is when people had their choice streams after 10th, it was commerce means a lot of finance and aspects of mathematics. But finance will hit us anyway in every roadmap of life. Any job that we're currently going to do, we are going to plan our finances of the financial year and our budgets. That's all finance, right? So don't let that word scare you. Let's go into more. If you can go ahead and once again, everything in life is that story which you can go in. And what is your way of creating a story? Companies need to know what is the risk or the profitability index with the business margin that they are starting off with. Now, this means a lot of statistical research. Study and forecasting economic trends. What is going to grow, what is not going to grow. You see, Amazon did this years ago. Earlier, Amazon, and go ahead and do your search. And this is it. That's the beauty of such programs that you're attending. Amazon 10 years ago was not into food baskets. Why? Because our job structure was much different. And you all know it. Your grandparents, definitely my grandparent, never had a phone in the house. I had a landline phone for the first time when I was around when I was in the 7th or 8th class. The word hello was fantastic and somebody talking from a different. Today it's mobile phones. Let's talk about economic trends. Ladies are much more in the market now. It's a much more balanced situation. It wasn't there years ago. So typically a man coming from outside will pick up even going ahead the vegetables and the stores or whatever kind of stuff, or Sundays. Today, what is happening in work? Sunday working has become a norm. People are working also on a Sunday. All right. The economic trend suddenly started working out. The people are working in long working hours. How will they pick up their stores, their materials, enters into food baskets? And we're finding big, of course, big basket, but big companies, right? Who've turned around and doing things like we'll bring in the vegetables and the potatoes and the onions to your house. Forecasting economic trends. If you can review company reports, suggest issues or forecast trends which could be alarming for a company, you can understand what numbers mean, then you can suggest efficiencies. You become the go-to man. According to this report, Mr. Verma, I realized, see the trend of where the bar graph moves in. We've got to get it more like this and do it like this. Otherwise, then you become the right-hand man of the company. So there's a lot of trends which come in here. Stock value, managing funds, even creating portfolios of investments. Extremely, extremely important. So what do? A lady or gentleman who has gone into the financial acumen field is going ahead and helping businesses and individuals in making various financial decisions, monitoring cash flow, where are investments, where can I go ahead and put it in, managing assets, liabilities, okay, or raising even capital for expansion and running business operations. There are many operating people who make a budget and think this is what I need. But here the finance team is involved in every bit of them. Okay, what are your career opportunities coming in here? As a financial consultant, as an agent or a broker, as an investment banking, commercial banking, corporate finance, private equity and venture capital, investment management, and retail banking. Let's look into another economics here. Okay, a career as an economist. Once again, very simple. Economists study and predict different distribution and production of resources. Okay, your typical economists you can see it even now after we finish off with our session today. Watch the news. They show trends and how the graph is moving and how the trend is going to take out. As I say, they study historical trends and they make forecasts. These forecasts help a market decide and start moving into customer acquisition. So a lot of research and data analytics using a variety of software. And then you can bring up trends and make a market move. What does such a lady or gentleman do? Research economic issues, conduct surveys, use many different mathematical models, pie charts, diagrams, statistics, present research papers, reports, tablets, charts, forecast, as well as advise. Advisory bodies are big. There are people who have gone ahead and done this and out of the back of their hand. They can read a page and forecast. It's just like you have, for having a little fun with you guys, okay? Just like you got an astrologer or a palm reader. He looks at your hand and says, agle 10 saal mein, jab Shani aayega, and does. So he predicts, right? He can see it on a thing. Many people cannot see the future based on numbers or predictions. This is a good way with these kind of systems as what is happening. Okay, what are career opportunities? Banking, financial consultancy, public sector, insurance firms, research firms. Okay, a lot of these things can actually come in. Much sought after, very, very exciting. Not much talked about. Why not much talked about? Because the word has not been made understood by people. Is it exciting? One of my favorites, and something of which I've been talking about quite a lot. So let's understand this. A big trend even in the current market scenario that we're doing, okay? So these professionals use a lot of mathematical equations, statistics, financial theories to determine risks and uncertainties in the markets, okay? They assess a lot of financial risks like natural disasters and insurance premiums. They are premiering in the design and determining various kind of insurance prices and how the insurance trends are rising up. Big, what is coming up. Find out with your neighbors, relatives, even parents, what is the rise of life insurance policies and how it has risen up in the last 4 or 5 months. How is this trend going up to the ministry? How is the ministry influenced? These are certain people, okay? The actuaries actually work in any field which has got a lot of risk management. Typical for my advice to you right now is a lot of insurance and healthcare. When these people work out with numbers and do a calculation of insurance risk and premiums and talk to you about how old you are, till how your returns could be, or how it could help you, how it can work in your favor, when is the right time, this is where it comes in. Which are job opportunities from here? Life insurance, general insurance, health insurance, pension funds, consulting firms, and risks management. Let's go into another. Cost and management accounting, okay? Such people in a commerce background are responsible for budgeting, looking into performance evaluation of an organization, asset management of a company or an organization as a whole. This gentleman has, or lady has, a knowledge of how the financial management creates a balance between demand and supply and expenditures and available resources. He's a good guy or lady who goes ahead and gives a system, an idea, who goes ahead and shows a map of how certain decisions and influences can go out better for an organization. Thus, for a corporation to be profitable, it's to be very, very important to understand what kind of costs are associated with the product and how can a decision be made on costs, expenditure, or even things like buyovers and takeovers and mergers. Okay. These kind of people work well for accounting and consulting firms. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, consulting firms. And I come back to the first word used at the beginning. One of the exciting words called an entrepreneur. You can have your own consulting firm with an experienced background of doing this. Great to work for such people. What could be career opportunities as a cost consultant? You got avenues into the government sector, mega into the business organization, financial structure, and we talked about health and insurance, great in finance and banking and wealth management, and overall fantastic in consultancy. Okay, another one which is extremely trending and how numbers and figures have gone ahead and made a rage in the market. Let's visit Mumbai now. Stock market trending is extremely great. Something as interesting as after 12. And you can get into mega involvement in terms of buying and selling of stocks on a stock market. Proficiency with going ahead and running it through the computer to understanding what are market trends, what is going up and down. Okay. Such people are sought out after individual single run organizations or mega growth chains. This is big in terms of a value merchandise, and such organizations, such professionals can work once again for organizations onto their main payroll or run their own from their own company as well. That means you can be a domain expert providing influence. And yes, these are also a wonderful course which can happen straight after 12th. Career opportunities, well, broking firms, insurance company, investment banks, pension funds, banks dealing with broker, investment consultancies, mutual funds, and research. Okay. I know I use this word quite a lot, but in its own trend, it can stand on its own merit as well. Now, statistics is a collection of data. I know you're laughing, you'll know about this back in your class, but let's understand it from a business sense. The statistician works with data which works all around us and sees how does all the data that comes through provides us with our long-term and short-term plan. This, lady or gentleman, realizes from where to collect, from where to put into a basket, to analyze the data, interpret what meaning comes out, and present the data very, oh yes, objectively, and can even go and do that in an area of uncertainty. This is once again another example of how a number crunching trend is not just your normal algebra, profit and loss, and geometry. It's how numbers can come associated onto a business field or our common word, which is commerce. Statistics is the key in this modern age. Everything is revolving around numbers and growth. Governments of most countries of the world are always researching to improve its economic content. Okay? More and more businesses are relying on statistics to show where are they going or stopping them from going into something where they won't get their immediate returns. You can do a lot of add-ons in terms of statistics for going ahead and doing things in terms of the agricultural, ecological, environment, energy related studies. You can go ahead to work into, once again, banking, insurance, wealth management, and insurance companies, to actually going and serving as an opinion pollster. We are so many of us is wrong. All of us are inseparable from our wonderful mobile phones. And every time a poll is running up, what would you say? How many of you all say yes or no? Shouldn't we do this? Yes or no? Put forward a poll. A poll is getting numbers. Somewhere this entire research that you are seeing comes back onto people, and this poll is generated to show to an organization, ladies and gentlemen, this is what the public wants to know. The public is all saying this is the number. Where do you think the trend is coming from? The public. Where does it come from? The opinion polling, statistics, number driven. Now, if you can bring forward a career and a passion from this, this is something exciting. Okay, so a lot of stuff in terms of theories can come up, forecasting models can come up, quality control studies can come up, and you can become very, very versatile as an advisor to an organization. Entrepreneurship is hugely a big thing in the market today. And so it actually comes around into certain individual capitalizing on a unique, novel niche business idea as a key, which can change that frontline business aspect. and it's a broad field, and you can do loads of stuff. And once again, they always say a great entrepreneur is one who can start young. And you can go into many various things: corporate entrepreneurship, finances, franchisees, family managed businesses. Okay, you can also go into consulting as well. Many different ones. All right. For an entrepreneur, a skill required would be an ability to also, other than hard work, but the area to multitask. So one thing extremely big in commerce is that wonderful aspect of multitasking. A leadership skills, speaking skills, influencing skills, risk-taking skills to convince people that invest in this because aaj se 5 saal baad, another 5 years from now, persistence, carrying on to it. Mr. Malhotra, why haven't you taken our policy? Don't you see it will benefit us? Persistence. I told you about communication, creative, strong networking, and self-confidence. All right. A lot of career opportunities in entrepreneurship. You could be family, or could be a family business owner, a consultant, a business advisor, a franchisee owner, inventors bringing up their own IT solutions, or small business owners. In short, in every one of these things, these skills come out. Commerce has a huge applicability in the market and loads of different avenues. If you can club some of these things together, you armor yourself stronger and better to deliver more. Okay, this was a run through of how commerce is a wonderful aspect of a career with various different offshoots that can come up. I close right now with one thing is, you have got in touch with us from NPOCA. That is our website that I have put up on the screen. You have been reached out to us. You have our numbers. Any queries, thoughts, even beyond this, you know how to reach us, because this is how we go ahead and reach out to people like you and help giving various ideas for y'all to come to a good solution. Last one sentence as I close right now for questions is, think once again of your passion, your interest, and how certain things can mushroom and grow. You might also look at various other careers or courses which can supplement something which you choose right now. For example, law, which can add on legal studies. Law can add on brilliantly onto a CACS. Or if you're an excellent communicator, or if you start off as an entrepreneur, oh my gosh, the list is carrying on. Do you see? Loads of opportunities. So here I pause with a lot of stuff shown up to you all, and I now remain open for questions.
Thank you so much, Andrew. In case you would like to switch on your camera, or we'll continue with the same fashion, whatever works with you.
I will put it on.
Okay. I'll take up a few questions from the Q&A section, and then probably give you the mic for some time. If you can stop sharing.
Yeah.
And if you stop sharing, if you can just close the stop sharing.
Yeah, I've done that.
You'll be in the center. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so not in any particular order, but there's a question where one of the attendees wants to understand the difference between a BCom and a BBA, right, and which is better.
May I?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So along with this course, number one is, please understand, you got to choose the words from where they're coming in from. And I'm going to make this really snappy because we got a lot of, I'm sure, going to be a lot of aligned questions to this. Now, business administration to understanding management, your entry level understanding of management is where the BBA is going to come and help out with. Now, please do understand, you can take a college course and then get into doing your MBA. But if you find your fitment now in terms of business administration and business management, if that is what is going to go and excite you, and you feel that is going to open your avenues, then BBA is there. Now, when you go into understanding commerce as a huge field on its own, and you still need some time to understand commerce as a huge field and not just management. That will be a very interim understanding of a division between a BCom and a BBA. All right, please.
Yeah, I think you've answered it. If you allow me to take a couple of seconds, I think we will have to stop or discourage conversations on saying which is better, a BCom or a BBA. These are very, very different career paths. You'll have to make your own choices. There is nothing called a good career and a bad career. There's nothing called a good course and a bad course. As long as we are aware of the industry's acceptance. So acceptability wise, both these programs are good. If you're looking at a career in management, BBA is one of the options for you at the undergraduate level, right? Which is, you've got options to get into a management school, including IIMs after class 12. I'm Indore and I'm Rohtak offer a 5-year integrated program. I'm expecting a few others to announce in the next couple of years. You do a BCom, which is essentially a 3-year degree, because you're looking at a career in finance, economics, or one of these, right? So I think that whole comparison is a little unfair. You can have success on both of them. I hope I've answered this question and I'm dismissing it.
So can we go for the next
How does
question?
a student, yeah, I'm so sorry. I was just reading out the question. My apologies.
Sure.
How does a student know he or she is right fit for the field of commerce?
There are certain things which you're going to go and look into, and please understand this very clearly. How are you going to be the right fit? I would like you to go through what has been done currently right now. When you say what is the right fit, let me use the business terminology here, the right fitment. The right fitment means which works together. Now, two things work together. After you've done your course is what the course has got to offer you, as well as where does your passion interests lie. So that means, can we go ahead and not only do what this job is wanting us to do, but do we have more allied skills, all right, which can make this job do more, or where we can go and contribute more in this job? That would be an almost perfect fitment. All right, let me go and explain to you a little bit more. I'm going to just leave this topic for a side in terms of weird explanation in terms of fitment. A person who is working in who is a chemical scientist, right, and who's working in the Archaeological Society of India, and he's going and studying bones because he's done his studies in chemistry and he can go and analyze into what is the dates and age of bones, but his passion interest is also history, then don't you think he's got even much more to offer? Because he can now not only put forward a good date because he's good in science, but he also knows the history background of it. So in both these ways, his job career is getting more enhanced. It gets more valued. When you can bring more value onto it, you find out where the fitment comes in. All right. If you want to go ahead and talk as a journalism person, and you got good communication skills, lovely body language, and guess what? You can become a consultant commerce financial strategist. You can come on the news and talk numbers. Now you're good at talking, you got good body language, you got a wonderful persona, but you've also got the manner of communicating. You can see fitment. So you see fitment comes in various genres, not just passion interest, but other skills that you have which you can use together. This is where fitment comes in.
Okay, so a little off, but then it's not completely off. Is hotel management a good career? We will try and keep these short. There seems to be number of questions seems to be swelling. So But then I know there is always this problem of, how short is short. Is hotel management a good career?
Of course it is. Food is never ever going to die out. Hotel management, is it?
Yes.
Management, yeah. So we are on to management, right? So absolutely, hotel management is a good careers as well. Loads of different opportunities, airlines, hotels, restaurants, entrepreneurship. You can go ahead and start to get into statistics and data and use various other things. Become a serial entrepreneur. Start your own delivery services. Do your own app-based interventions. Think about it. Wonderful career.
Okay. So there's a question which is, considering the current pandemic situation, what is the best assuring job for a commerce student?
When I was going through the presentation, I gave various things in terms of how commerce is practically, actually addressing every single element that we're going to go ahead and do right now. Number one is, according to the age that I'm sure the student who's asked this question, you either 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, more to more, you would be there in college. Other than that, I think there are parents and educators who are present here. It'll take you some while to complete your course, and God bless, I think the pandemic will be open by that time. But what's running in the pandemic right now? Financial statistics, number driven, economics, everything is there. Once again, these are all which you have to adjust according to your passion and your thoughts, which will be the kind of course curriculum that you will be going through. And you can see where the fitment will come in.
Yeah. Okay. So a more of a softer issue. Why marks matter in commerce today when creativity is what important at last is what is important at last. There's a typo.
I'm so sorry. Could I please ask you to repeat that?
Why marks matter in commerce today and when creativity is what is important?
Both are important. Let's go back on. Let's take a little trend, a little way back, okay, and try to go into something even much more cliche. You could have the will and the aptitude to take a particular course that seems that really suits you. Why does your 10th board and 12th board marks matter? You see, marks will take you there. Marks will shows that you have qualified to enter into a particular course. But later creativity will drive it. Okay, that will be your supplementing factors. That is where your niche market comes in and things that you've got to go and build up. So marks are great, numbers are great, all those things are great. Creativity is important because finally that is the icing on the cake which makes a presentability much more important.
Okay, I would like to step in here,
Please.
Navda. Yes, marks is not something that is something which is seen as an important parameter in commerce. It is seen across streams, right? I completely agree that the next set of skills that we are talking about would require a reasonably high amount of creativity. While marks gives us an indication of a certain amount of intellect and probably ability of an individual to work hard, right? Having marks does not necessarily guarantee a successful career, but marks do indicate us, provide a certain view on an individual's capability. So not having marks, so if somebody is not good with mathematics and wants to get into a career in data science or in engineering or in actuaries, yes, some university somewhere on earth will be offering it. I'm sure it will be offering in India. Would you be able to reach, be amongst the top 5%? Answer is no, right? So marks are important. Marks are not the only thing which are important, is how I would look at. Yes, one should work on creativity, something that I keep, we keep talking about. We will have to go beyond maths and English. The next set of jobs that we will see over the next 5 to 10 years would require a very, very high level of creativity and empathy. Some of these skills would come in much more handier than maths and English. There is a question which says, I kind of missed it. Give me a second. Will BA in economics without maths, is it a will it have better growth prospects vis-a-vis BSc in economics?
Okay, so something which I told you earlier is, and I quote a very famous author here, Stephen Covey, who says, begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. That means, where do you want to go? So depending on that, please find out whether this avenue of with maths, without maths will suit it. Once you've decided there, you'll find out which career option suits up with you. You see, without maths, it opens many different avenues. There are loads of avenues, but different avenues. After this, with maths, you get different avenues as well. So as a result, you need to choose which line you're getting into. And when you choose your line, not BA economics, I'm talking about when you choose your line, your job specification role, you'll then tend to see a fitment as, where does this help out, or does this particular course enable you to apply for that particular job posting or offer. This is where actually you should think about, rather than thinking about this question. I hope that will help you.
Another point just to add to yours, Andrew, I think what is more important is to look at the course contents. Yeah. You know, if I need to draw a parallel today, we have BA LLB, we have BCom LLB, we have BBA LLB. But you know, if I park the nomenclature of the degrees, they are primarily law degrees, with a few electives which focus on either fine arts or commerce or management, right? But they're fundamentally, you know, what you become is a law graduate, right? So that takes me to the next question, and there are a couple of them. The kids are asking, or maybe kids is a wrong. So the attendees are asking, if is law a good option, and there are a few others who are saying law with company secretary. Is it a powerful degree?
It would be. It definitely would be. Law on itself is a very, very interesting, exciting career option to go into. Remember the word I used, participants, was create your armory, Karan ka Kavach. Law with a CS is extremely important. In fact, very, very versatile CS people have gone ahead and taken a course in law as well. Politicians, for example, have taken it. So yes, I would definitely recommend it.
Yes, law will remain to be a relevant degree. I'm sorry, I missed this part of it. Law will remain relevant, not just now as the business grows, as organizations get more complex, more legality will come into it. Law will continue to be relevant. Today, law will continue to be relevant tomorrow. I don't think there is much debate on that. Company secretary with law makes sense if you're looking at a particular career track. Now, if you're looking at doing corporate law, a CS might not be of great help. Company secretaries are essentially working for an organization. It's mandatory, you know, as per the organizations. It's all organizations are mandated to have a company secretary after a certain volume. So it's not something which is for everyone, but if you're looking at working as a company secretary, both of them by and large are law degrees, right? You know, with a slight CS having a greater focus. On law, this list is going, we'll have to call out, you know, maybe two more people can raise their hand and ask their questions. And then, you know, Ritika is the first one. No, she's... Okay, so we'll take two questions, guys. I am sorry, it's 12:35. We're already 1 hour into it.
And of course, you're going to leave me with, I want to broadly answer 2 questions from a macro perspective.
I am really sorry, but I cannot. Yeah, give me a second. I just realized you are the host. Yeah, I think, okay, Satej, go ahead and ask your questions. One more, Aryan after Satej. That's it for the day today. Yeah, Satej.
Hi, I am actually Satej's father here. It is an excellent presentation, and I'll cut short my question. Satej is interested in pursuing a career that will be on the crossroads of foreign trade, international business, international law related to that, and so on. So I just wanted to see if you could elaborate a bit on how one could go about it and what options are there and so on.
So he's interested in foreign trade.
Yeah.
International
Law,
business law.
international business, law. Now, typically, if Andrew, would you like to take this question?
Yeah, we both can take it. I'll give my thoughts first. Lovely. For number one, first of all, is wonderful career choices and thoughts which are there. Some of them are closely touching another, yet they are very much into their own fields in their own avatars. As a result, some of their career opportunity requires a choosing of a proper business study which they should go into. While you're going to go ahead and do some of these things, you're going to find out that some do interact with each other and some are totally on their own. For example, law is a very, very lovely aspect for him to go into. He's got to decide now where is he going to concentrate into finally. International India, that loops into a lot of different choices that he's going to take through. Where is he going to study from? Where is he going to study from as a diversion between an X and a Y, by which where is he going to study from, international India, or if we are international domestic, sorry, that was wrong verbatim. And secondly is the kind of course which they're going to move into, which is going to be for that particular domain. This is some little basic, which he'll have to do a homework before, which will only once that is done, can he take the second step. Please understand, you're at a crossroad right now. This decision has to be taken. Arun, please.
Yeah, essentially, sir, if you ask me, there are 2 education routes that Satej can take. One is through a management, the second is through a law, right? In the course of his education or his work, he can build competencies from one to another or some portability between the 2, right? But primarily from an education, he will have to either take a management route or a law route, right? Interestingly, if he's looking at management, he will either need to do a BBA and then an MBA, or look at some of these 5-year integrated programs, which in my mind are strong ones to do. There are multiple other routes that I can keep talking about. Economics is another route that he can take in for, but economics at the undergraduate level will not suffice for the kind of success that you probably are or Satej is looking at, right? I hope I've answered your question.
It was very helpful. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
really
thanks
appreciate
so much. Yeah.
both of you. Thank you.
And Aryan, it's your turn now. Go ahead, Aryan.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, first of all, and I'm a class 9 student. I love the presentation and it's surely helping the coming future. Here's a question that I had, that can be simultaneously, choose the commerce.
You need to speak, you need to keep your mic a little closer, Aryan.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I had a question. Can we simultaneously commerce stream and we have aspirations to settle abroad?
Okay. if I got your question correct, just type in yes in the chat window. Arun wants to know, if I'm pursuing commerce, do I have scope to settle abroad? Is that the question?
Yes.
Yes, that's the question. Thanks. I'm going to mute you.
Yes, he absolutely does. Absolutely. But now, once again, Arun, is going to be a little bit vague, all right? Because now, what course are you going to do? What do you want to settle as? I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. Is this course good to settle abroad? Yes, it is. But what do you want to settle abroad as? Is it applicable abroad? Will they value such a course for the kind of work that you want to? Now, this, you see, you've got to go a little bit more micro. So far, you're all right. But as you go ahead, the road is going to diverge. So that's why you need to think in abroad in this segment, how will it work? Is this taken there? Yes or no?
Yeah. So
After all, you're thinking career. It's a long-term perspective, my friend.
You're absolutely right. Now, some of the professional programs might require, so let's say if you do a chartered accountancy in India and you have to go and work somewhere in US, there are some licenses and certifications you'll have to clear again to practice. Just like a lawyer who studies in any part of the world, if he comes and practices in India, he'll need to go through a certain, validation, if I can say, through the Bar Council of India. So yes, does it happen in all cases? No. In professional cases, this is more common. In others, it's not necessary. For example, when somebody does a management, can you go and settle abroad? Answer is yes. If you become a stockbroker, settle abroad, you can. Yes, you will need licenses to work from. If you're in an advisory position, you don't need to necessarily have licenses all over the world. So it is dependent on what work that you're choosing in from. And I tend to go with, for many of you who are looking at settling abroad as your primary criteria, I think you will have to rethink. You'll have to look at education that probably will enable you to work beyond geographies, right? But don't do the reverse way around, because pandemics like these and economies would keep changing their criteria of who they are preferring over others. Yeah. I don't know. So let's take Prajwal as the last one, and then we close. Before you start, Prajwal, there's a very repetitive question on CA, CS, and ICWA. Please understand these are very, very different degrees. While one supports the other. When you're talking about a company secretary, a chartered accountant, and a cost and management accountant, please understand the chartered accountant's job or a defined job profile is very different from a cost management accountant. And the name itself helps you to a large extent, right? Similarly, a company secretary has a very different purpose. So they are not the same. Although I know there are times when people who do not have, who have commerce and do not enjoy maths as much choose company secretary. But please understand they might look like, they're used in one breath, but they're not the same. They lead to very, very different works that you do, or different organizations, or different set of jobs that you perform, right? Prajwal, all yours. Prajwal, are you there? Prajwal, you can unmute and ask your question. In case you're finding it difficult, please type in your question.
Hello. Hello. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, Prajal would like to know, he's interested in doing sports management. So he would like to know the career options available. What are the, options available for doing a sports management course? Is it a viable thing?
Very much so. Currently, in terms, the government has really put forward such an initiative in a much stronger depth over the last couple of years. It's a growing scenario. Not much talked about because it's, I won't say it's nascent, but it's bubbling into various different avatars, and I'll tell you why. I mean, from the most cliche setup, totally of it all is that think about it from this factor: what is our national sport, and how much is that being played? Right? I think you got my question. So
Yeah.
from that angle, now look at what's happened from the Commonwealth to what is happening here. Now, in terms of this, many people are turning around and asking from it's being divulged to people talking about not only management, but it's also come into the question of funding. It's opened up in terms of private players to come in. It's opening into a merger between the state and the center as to how to get coordination run bigger. There's a lot of teething issues which are running through because of only unanswered questions while they're sorting it out. But rest assured, over the years and a trend, you've seen the government has taken a lot of interest in this, a lot of interest. Now, how do you go to rise in it? There are various avenues which this opens up into, and you need to study the avenues is how this suits you the best. My one major reply before this session, not reply, a statement before this session closes out is, please do understand. I'm going to tell you something cliche. Are there jobs? Yes, they are. Can I make a career? Now you're talking a different question altogether. Jobs are not careers. Finally, when we go ahead, where does the fitment happen? Fitment. And the fitment is very important. Even in sports management, where is the fitment going to come into? They're requiring a lot of people. You need to see where the fitment coming in. So some people are turning around, even in this question, sir, who have asked in the question chat box, and I've seen it, there's so many. I'm just bringing it up just to state my point in answer to what you said, is can a commerce course be done without maths? Now my question is, of course it can be done without maths. Yes, it can be. Now, if you hold Andrew Ryder to it and say, Andrew, you said that it can be done without maths, now what do I do? I said it can be done, right? That's not the question. My question is, what do you want to do? And does that help commerce without maths? Yes or no? So your son, your ward must first discuss with you, and you all must come to a consensus as to how does he want to work in sports management? Where do you think it's going to take him to? What is the avenues open for him? And then look into where is the fitment.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Okay. Did we answer your question, sir?
Yeah, it helped quite a lot.
Yeah. So by and large, if you ask, it's a very niche program. Is there a demand, or will there be a demand in the future? The demand will continue to be there and will surge. The problem with the niche programs is you need to be good at it. And just to repeat what Andrew was saying, I think we'll also need to set our values. You know, what are our expectations? Are we looking at a career which is from a monetary side? Are we looking at, you know, if I'm looking at a career which is which is paying back to the society or something else, we'll have to match those values also in the process. It is very, very difficult to answer whether CA is better than CS, or CS is better than CA, or MBA is better than CA. Different career tracks, if you are average with mathematics, doing exceedingly well in CA might be a challenge. Or rather, I would say if your numerical aptitude is low or moderate, you might not enjoy working as a chartered accountant, because the fact is you will be doing number crunching, right? I'm just probably giving you a cheat sheet there. Otherwise, it's a difficult one to say. Is commerce important for every course? No, commerce is not important for every course. Mind you, as we speak, there is a good number of students from science who take up programs in chartered accountancy and most of others. The number of students who are studying law, for example, or management with science stream is also significantly high. So, no, it's not important. No, it's not important. Are there career options available in commerce without maths? Yes. Are they equal? Answer is no. So I'm afraid we'll have to hold on to this. We will have the session recording up by the weekend. Probably before that, we'll share the link for the session. It was a pleasure having you all. And thank you so much, Andrew. I think, we owe it to you. Thank you so much for making yourself available.
Absolutely my pleasure.
Right. And with this, I would like to close the session. Quickly, if you can just let me know, students who are attending the session, which school are you from? In the chat window, it will be helpful. And everyone else can. TPS, Euro School, Army School, Joseph. Okay. See, it's in there. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, all of you. In fact, a little later, but a little late in the day, but I think I would really want all of you to be there for the Wednesday session. You can actually go to the website npoca.com and register. We have an entrepreneur, a very, very successful entrepreneur, Mr. Tarun Anand, coming up on Wednesday. He has been an ex-managing director of Reuters Southeast Asia, right? Looking forward to having you in that session, especially those who are interested in entrepreneurship as a concept. Thank you so much, and we're done for the day.